wow. He goes, I was up here for 5-6 minutes and nobody laughed. God, so embarrassed because I brought my mom. You out there, bitch? And dude, the whole place died. They laughed so hard.
He said, "Are you out there, bitch?"
Yeah.
What's up, Sucka?
What's happening?
What's up, man? We're here live. We're with Danny Ingle. What's up, Danny?
Not too much, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So we got Chingo of Ingle here today.
Yeah.
Chingo of Ingle, man. There's a lot of Ingle. You know, you and Chingo, he's a comedian. If y'all don't know, comedian Danny Ingle. He's been a comedian for how long now, Danny?
Dude, I started in 2004.
2004?
Yeah.
How old were you in 2004?
I was 40 years old when I started.
You know what? I was 39.
Really?
I was 39,
Yeah.
and I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But
Wait, no, because I'm older than
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
No.
You're about 15 years older than me.
No.
20.
No.
30.
Dude, let's just, let's see.
Statistically, you should
You're
be
52,
dead.
right? You're 52?
I'll be 53 this year, in November.
Okay, I just turned 59.
59.
And you know what? Starting later, doing comedy, you just have a lot more stuff to talk about.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that's different. Because when you're younger, it's just like, you want to talk about, when I was on my skateboard and I was doing this. Oh, you still are. No, it's just.
Hey, dude, they took a cheap shot. I was just like,
already starting early.
Smacked me right in the face.
Starting early. But no, it's just.
No life experiences at that young age.
Not at that age. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Dude, I was in the beer business for a long time. Like I was working for Budweiser.
Shout out to Budweiser. That's one of our sponsors, Budweiser. We break commercial break. Budweiser, the beer champions. Thank you. Look at us, Budweiser. Go ahead. And so, how long were you there?
I was there. Well, let me see. I started in 90. Actually, in 85. See, dude, I was 85.
I was still in high school. See,
I was dude, man. You were still in high school, right?
In 85, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't graduate till. Like you were probably at Budweiser for 20 years by the time I graduated.
No, I left in 99.
I was in prison.
Yeah.
I was in prison in 99. So, yeah.
Dude, it's like, where were you? Oh, I was at Bud. Where were you at? I was locked up.
Yeah, I was locked up, missing every. You know what was horrible about being locked up in 99? Was that Prince song? No, that Prince song fucking was torture. We're going to party like it's 1999. Nice. And when it turned 98 to 99, we were just like, oh, this New Year's, everyone's fucking partying. Like, we were like, damn, this is the one that you don't. And then they backdoored us with 2000, the Y2K.
They're literally backdoored us.
They tried to backdoor us. But with the Y2K thing, that the world's going to end, Y2K. And people were like, the doors are just going to open, bro. I was like, no, they're not, dude.
Everybody's waiting at the front.
Yeah, you go stand by the door. Yeah. That's where they're going to backdoor you, motherfucker. Like, yeah, don't they? And they did.
What's so crazy? I remember it. I remember that time when it happened. We were, because everybody was worried about the computers. You were worried about everything else. And it's like nothing happened. And, but because you're drunk and you're like, is nothing, not a damn thing happened.
I was in prison. Yeah, nothing happened. Nothing.
So so I started doing comedy at 40, and but the first time I almost went on stage was back in 1981. There was a comedy club that was
on 281.
It was on. Actually, it wasn't there. It was on by University Bowl. There was a comedy club that was right next door. So my cousin went over there, and my cousin used to do comedy, and they used to have open mics. So I said, well, you know what? Let me go. I'll go to the open mic, and then I'll think about going up there.
How old were you at that time?
Well, it was like I was like 19. Yeah.
So you've wanted to be a comedian since from a very young age.
I wanted to. I just didn't think I was ever gonna. I was scared. I was afraid to be in front of people.
I
had stage fright. I mean, it was just.
I still have stage fright.
Yeah. And I should have drank. Because I was drinking back then. The drinking age back
was 19.
Was 18.
18. And then it turned to 19. Then it turned to 21.
And then 2 years later, 21.
I was missing it. I was a year behind the curve, dude. Oh, really? I was watching it change in front of me.
No, it was so. The only thing, and this is the only thing I remember from that night going over there. This guy he sucked. Poor kid. He was
at the open mic.
At the open mic. Okay. I mean, it was just bad, and there was a lot of people there because everybody just wanted to try to do open mic. So there was a lot of people there. He goes, wow. He goes, I was up here for 5-6 minutes and nobody laughed. God, so embarrassed because I brought my mom. You out there, bitch? And dude, the whole place died. They laughed so hard.
He said, "Are you out there, bitch?"
Yeah. So he did that, and all of a sudden, Dude, he heard that roar, and also he wanted to stay after 3 more minutes. Nothing, but he kept calling her bitch like 5 more times because he figured, okay, that was the only thing he could do. Dude, I could. That was like that was a highlight. And then after that, he never went back. You know, his mom didn't want to take.
And you were gonna go on stage that night?
I was gonna go on stage that night.
But
man, that was a crazy.
But you didn't take your mom, and you couldn't call her a bitch.
I know, God. Dad, pops you out there, motherfucker.
Damn, that'd be a good joke today, even.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
My mom's here. Say hi, bitch.
Yeah.
God, bitch.
You should see. She was sitting in the front. That's what made it. Her eyes like lit up. Like, what the hell? I was like, I can't believe he said that. And man,
that's fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
You know what the funniest thing? Like, it's weird when you see someone do so horribly bad from a comedian to a comedian perspective. It's the most hilarious thing you can see.
Yeah.
When you saw, like, I saw a dude on at a black show, and he would do Dirty Johnny jokes. Remember the Dirty Johnny was in class, and the teachers said, asked a question, and Dirty Johnny was in the back raising his hand, and they don't want to call on Dirty Johnny because everything he says is dirty, right? Yeah. So this black dude, he was probably he's like 70 years old, one of Vance's friends, V-Dog, shout out to V-Dog, and they called Mr. Smitty. Mr. Smitty would go out before the show and do like 3 Dirty Johnny jokes. They're horrible, like canned Dirty Johnny jokes. Yeah. Well, he showed up with this young girl. I'm talking like 40. He's like 70.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty girl, black girl. She's there with him, all dressed up. He's in a suit.
That was his date for the night?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And he was going on stage.
Yeah.
So he got all done up, and he brought this girl. And she was all done up and sat right there in front. And he went out there and forgot all his fucking jokes. He was up there and he was going, Dirty Johnny. Well, Dirty Johnny. God damn, what did Dirty Johnny do? And dude, he was scrambling, and I couldn't stop laughing, dude, because I've seen him do it before. It was the funniest thing. This is the funniest I've ever seen him be.
Yeah.
And then he got so embarrassed.
He wasn't even trying. He was just
and he stormed out of there. After that, like, he fucking left. He never told a joke.
Really? That was he probably died. Dirty Johnny died.
Dirty Johnny, yeah, dude.
Oh, so he couldn't come back.
And the girl was embarrassed. You could see her. She was embarrassed, and he was struggling. It was great.
That's funny. I think you know what? I think if you're not aware of your material, you don't know where you're gonna go, or you don't have. If you go, I'm gonna just wheel it tonight. No, it's not gonna happen.
No, like I'm headlining the LOL, and
are you nervous? You nervous?
Oh yes,
but you should be. Everybody should be. If you're going on stage, if anybody ever says I never get nervous, then you're not even trying. Yeah, you're not even.
I mean, there is those LeBrons and Jordans, I guess. I mean, as far as nerves, like I always think about this. Like when I watch, which is Eddie Murphy's first one, the Delirious or the
you know what? I don't know. It's just
what's the first one? Delirious or Raw? Delirious
is
Raw,
the
right?
one in a red suit, right?
Yeah, when he goes out there, imagine that. He was 19, 20 years old when he did
the specials, he's 24.
Yeah, he was already older than
okay, but to go out there in leather suit at that young age, and all your peers looking at you going, this motherfucker's got fucking...
Man, but he was,
he was good.
It was good.
And he hasn't even done anything since.
Where did you, I remember when it first came out, it was on, I think it was HBO or something. Before the movie, after that, because I think it was on the movie, because the very first, concert, as far as, what do you call a concert? Was Richard Pryor. So we saw Richard Pryor at Northwest
Live at
6.
the Sunset Strip?
It was the other one before that. He was at Long Beach. So this was Live Sunset Strip was the one after. But yeah, this one was at the movie theater. Dude, we couldn't, and it was all the guys from school. We all went, as a big group. We died, and then because all we used to do back in the day when all we did was listen to albums. We went over to my friend Ronnie's house, because he was always gone. Ooh, spotlight over there, man. Dude, you look like you're going to be really funny that night. You look like you're going to be really.
I look like I'm about to throw up.
No, but you know what? That's a confident look. That's a good picture.
Did you send them the bio?
No, they just created it.
LOL Comedy Club is proud to present the Spotlight Series to showcase the best veteran and up-and-coming comics from around Texas. Oh, okay. I thought they were specifically calling you the best veteran. It's like, damn.
Hey, bro, quit hating, dude.
Yeah.
It said this month's spotlight is on Edward Hernandez. Edward is a San Antonio comic that has worked with tons of talent from around the country, including Carlos Mencia. Be sure to check out
his hilarious storyteller.
Yeah. On May 12th.
You know the good thing about when you're working with some of the guys, like, you worked with Juan a lot and Carlos, and so is that you learn from guys that are so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the one thing about working, Josh was doing this, I've done this, working with, featuring for a lot of great headliners, is that you pick up something that they're doing. And it's not like as far as but you're watching how they handle certain situations.
Yeah, you're not trying to rip them off, but
right.
But if you see Michael Jordan just keep doing these moves and they work.
Yeah.
You think, well, let me try some of those moves. It's not the same thing. You know who I want to check out? Andrew Schultz. I've seen videos of that dude killing it, dude. That dude is like on the fly, almost sold out. See, that dude has been killing it on his videos, man. Like he fucks with the crowd a lot.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen.
I'm not a fuck with the crowd guy unless the crowd unless they fucking don't stop. And there's when's Carlos coming? September 9th through 12th. Okay.
Well, I think because I watched, I think it was Josh's podcast and
the Willful Ignorance.
Yeah, and so I think they were talking about River Center Comedy Club because that's where we all started River Center. When I started River Center, we were still doing the midnight shows. Were packed. I mean, dude, it was a line out the door for the midnight shows, and it was just
that shit fell off, right? Bad,
crazy. Because it was that we used to have the 3:00 afternoon shows on Saturdays, dude. Lines out the door, and it was just
like an open mic, pretty much.
No, well, it was more. You had to be invited to do it.
Oh, it was a showcase.
Yeah, it was a showcase. So you had to be, to get on and that's when it was pretty strict. I say pretty strict, but if you didn't have any time, but you had to do the Friday night open mic to try to work your way to.
They had to see you.
And
Jeff had to see you.
And Ben also. And Ben, that's when Ben was. I don't know if did you ever know Ben? I can't remember Ben's last name. Ben was over, and man, we would laugh because he would just like have his little drink on the side and watching whoever came out, and so he was like, "Ain't gonna make it," and you started laughing because you're going, "Shit, I haven't got up yet. I wonder you keep looking over when you're up there because it's that little stage out front."
And how long had you been in comedy at that point?
Oh, when I started doing those, I had started. I'm gonna say I think it took a few months before I even got to start doing but I was going every day.
To watch?
Well, not to watch. I did the Friday night open mics. I did that
at River Center.
At River Center, and then that's from there. Then that's when I was able to get on the midnight shows, the Saturday shows, and then you get invited to host. So once you get a host, that's the thing when you start.
What killed it was they started charging $5 at midnight instead of it being free.
Yeah, when it was free because they were making so much money off drinks.
Yeah,
they're still making money off drinks. We were still ordering because. It's just a bit, and I understand, I understand that, but that's the one, it was what it was back then.
Yeah.
And so, and what I did really enjoy about River Center was that there was half the people that were there were tourists. And if you did really well, you could really work anywhere. Like I could, and I've been doing shows pretty much, across, I was doing the cruises. I was doing the cruises man, when I got
they're back again. You know that, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I saw Carolyn Picard and Thea Vidal were saying that they're going to go back on it. Yeah. You got to do all that. There's all those protocols that they're going to be on there, but I don't even know if I'd want to be out on a cruise right now. Right now,
because what I was doing, this guy John Payton, John had this set up where we were doing, Randy Butler from Hyenas, they were good friends, so they got me hooked up to do the shows. And so we would leave out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, or dude, I would fly to Venice, Italy.
Really?
Yeah, Barcelona. Dude, it was like, and we would only there was two people. And in the contract, it says, okay, we want you to feature. But you're really the host because it's only a 2-man show. So you're hosting. And so I would have to do 15 minutes. I said, well, I thought I could do more. No, 15, and that's it. Don't go over 15. I was like, okay.
End it. Huh?
And one show a night. And then the headliner would do 20, 25.
Okay, let me ask you this though: when you're on those cruises and after you do it, could you go out and party just like you run? You can't, right?
No, we could,
but you can't now, right?
I don't see, but everybody had a different. They had like Celebrity Cruise Line because John had it set up where the same show that we do in Vegas over at Sin City was the same show we did on the ship. So he had it set up where we had cool rooms, nice rooms. We didn't have to wear a name tag or anything else. I mean, that was not that I. Because everybody almost pretty much knows who you are once you do one show.
Yeah.
And that was another thing too. So and then we only did maybe 4 to 5 shows that whole 7 days. That was it.
Dang.
Yeah.
While you're out on the water, y'all just do.
And that's only when you're on the water. Yeah. When you're docked.
Yeah. You don't do shit.
Dude, I almost forgot I wasn't on vacation.
And how much do they pay you for that? I mean, is it good? Is it a good or you kind of like?
No, dude, no. You were getting paid really well. And what they would do is they would pay for your hotel. I mean, your flight, your taxi. And if they had to fly you in a day early, they put you up. and then they, and you just.
So it's a really pretty decent gig.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way they had it set up. Every company's different. If you're doing for Carnival's
pretty strict.
Carnival is really strict.
Yeah, because I know they're piss testing them. I know a few people that say, I can't do it, man. They piss test me here, and shit like that.
And then you have to have a passport and stuff like
yeah.
that. So,
yeah.
It's just, I think the one thing that's really strict, the military shows. Military shows they start.
I've done some. Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did me and Juan did our final show.
Where'd y'all?
What if we
Lackland?
We
were at Lackland.
Yeah, we did. We did the Humor for Heroes.
Okay, yeah.
Remember? Yeah. And I'm a convicted felon, so that's a little.
Makes it a little
tough
sketchy.
Getting into some of these fucking. Some of them I just pass on, so I don't need the headache. But
yeah,
we did one here, and dude, it was all the people from boot camp.
Oh, okay.
And the commander of the whole place was out there with his 15 or 16-year-old daughter to watch the show.
Oh,
so Juan went out there and broke out all his panocha eating jokes. And the little girl was like, "What the fuck is he talking about, Daddy?"
Yeah. Holy smoke.
Oh, yeah. And so
wait, she knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, she knew. She was pretending.
What is that, Dad?
Yeah, on the military base.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be 2 shows. Well, he left with his daughter. He took off with his daughter in the middle of the show and told one of his subordinates, the next one in chain of command, to do whatever with us. And they almost stopped the show and didn't have the second show. They almost didn't have the second show. But then this dude made the call and he said, "You know what, man?" He said, "If these people can't handle a little dick sucking or pussy eating jokes, and this is our military, they got to stop being pussies.
They get really soft."
Yeah, and so they said, "Go on with the show," but we were never asked to do it again. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did. I was in Okinawa. We flew into Okinawa. We flew into Tokyo and South Korea, and it was just kind of like Okinawa. You're doing 5 different bases. I think it was 5 different bases over there. So
for the troops, right?
For the troops, yeah, and everything was on base, and so. It was always a hit or miss too with the shows because sometimes the guys were just like they would get so drunk and it was just and then they start crying. Some were crying after. I was like, "Dude, are you okay?" He's like, "You're from San Antonio." I was like, "Give me a hug. You can call me Theo if you want, but it's just like, dude, you're gonna be all right." Speaking of soft, we're just
damn.
Yeah, and then the next morning, like I remember we were out in we were at Camp Fuji over there in Tokyo, and so they had these guys were just like they were just getting like fucked up. I mean, they were drunk. And the next morning, you could hear them, man. They were carrying one of the guys with them. I was like, man, I looked out the window and said, "Yeah," because we stayed on base. Most of them were they had little hotels they have on base, so we'd stay there. And I'm looking over. I said, "Oh man, close the window." Went back to sleep.
Those base clubs are jumping though.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, it's just and they just drink. It's just like the cruise ships too. I mean, you see people drinking from the morning all the way till at night, and it's like. But then again, they're only there for
that's what you're there to do.
That's what they're there to do. Yeah.
Like I just went on a cruise right before the pandemic. In October, we went on a Carnival cruise, and I bought the all inclusive.
Oh, that's the way to go.
Okay,
if you're gonna drink,
and I bought the all inclusive, and on those cruise ships they have the rum bar and they have the tequila bar. And I wasn't those. I mean, some of those daiquiris look badass.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna start drinking that and let me go get a margarita and take a tequila shot and then go back and get. No, I would have had a headache from hell. No beer, 0 beers I get. So it's tequila and fucking margaritas when I'm there. But we went. Oh man, Saturday's the worst because you get 15 drinks is your limit, right? You can have 15, 15 drinks, and I was thinking 15 drinks.
Per day?
Can I do?
But
a day.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll cut you off after 15. And when you think, I know people like, okay, this weekend, my buddy, he was like, man, I went out and had a couple of beers, and all of a sudden I was just wasted. I said, well, how many did you have? What's a couple? He goes, I don't know. I had about like 12 to 16. And I was like, fuck, dude, that's not a couple.
It's funny because, they keep track of everything.
You have the bracelet. Yeah, and they scan your bracelet. And so right when you get to 15, they're going to stop you.
Yeah.
But dude, 15.
15's a lot, dude. I never made it, dude. We went, and I tried. Because we went on Saturday, we left the ship, and that's a Saturday.
Now, both of y'all have to, if you're sharing a room,
you both have to get the all inclusive
because they won't let one person get
because I could drink 8 and she could drink 7 and that would work too,
Yeah.
But they make you both get the all inclusive.
Is this the trip you got in a fight with that lady, or you cussed out a lady when you were gambling or some shit like that?
No. No, I didn't cuss anyone out on the cruise, and I threw someone overboard. The motherfucker. But we went.
Oh, that was a trip they lost. That somebody killed themselves.
Yeah, some dude jumped overboard.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
No, the
Okay.
one that you were on?
Yeah. So check it out. So, okay. So I was in the Navy.
They cut him at 15. He goes, you know what? Fuck this shit.
Yeah, dude. Hey,
he just jumps off.
He got the bill. He didn't get the all inclusive, dude. They said, "Hey, bro, what?
I can't pay for this."
So check it out. What's it? You get on ship, like you board the ship like at 12. They start, or at 10 in the morning they start loading people, right? Yeah. And I think they opened the bar at noon once they're loading. So people were already partying. It's the big deck departure party, and I was in the Navy and I was on a destroyer. And in the Navy, people that were on aircraft carriers before would be like, man, aircraft carriers are fucking dangerous, man. This ship is easy, man. Aircraft carriers, we lose people all the fucking time. They said people can the aircraft carrier is the most dangerous environment in the Navy, is being on an aircraft carrier, especially on the flight deck. Yeah. You could get blown off that deck. A cable could fucking snap and cut you in half. All kinds of shit can happen. Just weird shit. And and everyone that I knew in the Navy.
Is that part of their recruiting when they're recruiting videos? Like
they don't tell you that, bro.
Of course, I gotta tell you that.
They don't tell you this. They showed us videos of motherfuckers missing arms and legs from the mooring lines where they tie up the ship. Snapping back when they're tying up and cutting people.
These guys with peg, like the pirates' peg legs.
Yeah, dude, the dude, a parrot missing a wing, and he was telling about how the fucking rope got it. And so we were like, fuck. So when we, my girlfriend's daughter and her boyfriend were going on the cruise with us, and to try to fuck with them, I was saying, man, y'all got to watch out because someone falls off the ship every time. Every time
That's
you go
funny.
on this cruise, it's
Yeah.
we lose.
Dude, you almost willed somebody.
Yeah, so you lose people. And she was like, shut up. I'm like, nah, man, y'all got to be careful and all this shit. And then we're taking off. We departed at like 6. And about 8:30, they kept announcing this dude's name over the ship. To go to the quarterdeck, go to the quarterdeck, go to the quarterdeck.
He's already there.
See, that motherfucker. And then they just said, bing, all right, people. We are going to say we do have a man overboard. If you happen to be port side, can you please keep a lookout? And we're going to be turning around.
Dude, you know how many people ran to the,
Yeah, no, it was raining.
Was it starboard side and port side?
Yeah, port and starboard. But it was pouring outside. We were going through a small tropical depression leaving the Gulf right there, leaving Houston. So it was pouring, so everyone was inside.
I could see a drunk guy just going, iceberg straight ahead. It was like you're just being that kind of guy. Is like, what the?
No, dude, this dude apparently he was a 26-year-old black dude. Which I don't mean to make it a racial thing, but black plays a key word when you jump off of a ship in the middle of the ocean. Because I was in the Navy, and everyone during the second swim test, because they failed the first one, were black. Yeah, I'm just stating facts. People don't be mad
because there's less pools in their community.
Yes, exactly. That's because they were deprived because their fucking congressmen and reps in their district didn't build pools in there. That's what the fuck the problem is. Not what I'm saying right now. But this dude, they said check it out. They said
shout out to Vance Bradford.
Yes, who can't swim. I've never been in my pool, not once. This dude, they said he was 26 years old. He was there with a group, like most people are. Mm-hmm. He was with his wife and kid, or girlfriend and kid, and he got so wasted before the ship had taken off. He was fighting with his girl, and they told him, I guess he was getting belligerent, yelling at her, and was about to get violent with her. And when steward, and they were like, "Hey, man, you need to chill out." And he apparently, the story was going on the ship that he said, "Fuck you, I'll kill you" or something. So they were gonna lock him up in his cabin, and he broke running. And he ran back to his cabin on his own, but barricaded the door. And so they cleared out the people in the 2 cabins next to him because they were trying to get into the fucking place. And when they finally got in, he was gone. And they looked at video and they saw him jumping off his balcony.
Really?
Yeah. And so the ship turned around. We turned around at about 8:30. The ship said, we're going to go back to the area. The Coast Guard is helping out. The Navy has a ship. Yeah, they're like,
everybody go back to your room.
Yeah, dude, no.
Like, man overboard.
Dude, and so we went back, and they said, and some civilian vessels were there.
They didn't go like, they didn't have all that whole,
No, they didn't do all that man overboard because it had been already an hour since the dude jumped. Yeah. This is more like a
shark meat.
Yeah, this was a search and recover mission, actually. And his family was still on the fucking thing, but the ship went out there looking for him and till like midnight, and then they said, "Well, we're gonna take off to Mexico, people. They said, please say a prayer for
They said that?
Yeah, this is please keep them in your thoughts, the family in your thoughts and prayers, and we're gonna give you an extra hour in Mexico for the hour.
That is funny though. It's like we're gonna give you an extra hour of partying.
Fuck! Everyone just went yeah.
All of a sudden his body washes up on the beach.
Yeah, for an extra hour, and then it went.
Did everybody cheer when they said it?
No, I don't know. But it was fun because my girlfriend's daughter was like, "Did they just say, man, that someone jumped overboard?" I was like, "I told you, I told you." I was like, "Shit!" And then I got on the computer and looked it up, and they never found the dude.
You had Wi-Fi service? You
bought
that also?
Yeah, I bought everything, bro. They got me. The Wi-Fi sucked too.
It does.
The Wi-Fi sucked, dude.
There was like little things not to do when you get on.
But I wasn't able to look it up till we were already back. And I found out all the information on it.
Next time you go out, you're gonna jump over.
Yeah, dude. Poor dude. So that happened, but Saturday,
he was trying to get out of child support, and he jumped over, and there was a boat waiting for him, and now
he might be on a beach in Mexico right now with a new family.
Yeah, he could be.
What do I know? He might be having the greatest day of his life. I looked up people that have jumped off of boats because in the Navy they told us if you fall off this ship out there in the Pacific Ocean, you have about 15 minutes till hypothermia sets in. You're gonna muscles are gonna stiffen. You're gonna go under. You're done.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Well, of course, in Pacific, it's just so cold.
Yes,
and
yes.
You know what's so crazy is that you're bringing this up. I used to do the Alaskan tours too, so I'd go to Alaska.
Fuck yeah.
And we leave out of Seattle, and I would see, and you could still. I mean, there's ice, and there's little icebergs in the. Yeah. And it's just like you're looking, and going, man, how cold is that water?
Fucking cold.
Like,
it's like your drink.
Yeah, I mean it was cool to go over there, even when you go. We would go to to the ports and stuff, and we'd go and like I think we were in Ketchikan or something, and so I went over.
That's not a real place, dude. Don't be making up. Ketchikan. We were in Ketchikan. I'm like, dude, wow, tell me more. That's not even a real place,
dude.
Bro.
That's a salmon capital of the world. Look it up. Look it up.
You were in Balcony Heights the whole time. Don't fucking.
And so, just even I remember just doing. Man, the water was like ice cold just in the thing.
Ketchikan.
No, not Ket. No, Ketch. It's a K. It's a K.
See, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Ketchikan. Yeah. Dude, hey, Alaskans are weird people, right?
Well,
they're kind of like New Mexicans.
It's what? Most of the people that were there that work like they
the natives?
all live in the lower 48. They just go over there during the summertime to go work and stuff.
Is it?
Because I remember I met.
Is it cold in the summer? Is it their summer or our summer?
No.
I mean, it's still summer there, but do they have a summer?
No, yeah. Yeah, it's just it doesn't get as hot like it does down here.
Yeah,
I mean,
like 80, 85.
Theirs is just like it was like maybe it's in the 70s would it be a high like in the
really in the 70s.
I remember one of the things that we would do is
not wear shorts.
Dude, I don't think so. I don't remember. But it was just I remember that we would go to just they'd want you to go outside and go check out because they had the glaciers right there's this one stop where you go see the glaciers and it's really cold. I was out there. And it's funny to hear, like, there's parents, because they're like, why do I have to go watch this thing? Why don't we go see this thing? I don't want to.
Oh, man.
I was like, I'm listening to these people with their kids, and I'm going, man, first of all, you brought your kids?
I heard you could slap kids in Alaska.
Yeah, with a salmon.
Yeah, with a salmon. Pretend you're throwing it to them. Catch this, kid.
They've been getting $1,000 a month each for if you live in Alaska. You get $1,000 a month. So they've had
just for being a piece of shit in Alaska
income for a while now.
Wow. But it's really nice because there's only 3 ports that you would go to, and so Juneau, Alaska, Ketchikan, and this other I forgot the other place. And they're it's a lot of fun, and it was funny because summertime most of the guys that because there's only about 10 there was like 10 to 12 comics that they had doing the cruises for celebrity that we were doing, and all the guys always wanted to do the summer
the good season
Caribbean. They were like
But are people out on the decks and shit in this freezing ass cruise? Is it?
Oh yeah. People are going out there. Yeah.
Is there a big swimming pool on the deck, just like the Carnival cruises? And
the heated pool, everything. Yeah.
It's the same thing, but it's just freezing outside, huh?
Yeah, and it's some of them. It's yeah. It was just. I think it's more scenery than anything else. It was really nice to go out there. Yeah, even though. But one of the things I would take advantage when I was doing the European cruises, I would always go out. To some of the we were in Rome, and so I'd go to the Vatican. I went to the Vatican.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, I like to do that.
Yeah, because they were all really. I say inexpensive. It was like maybe $75 for a day trip. And
wow. Well, dude. Speaking of that, I saw a story on YouTube. Look up. There's one about there's a volcano that's by one of these places, and that's one of the tours they have is to go to these grounds where this live volcano is. The volcano erupted while the people were there on it, and it killed. I don't know how many people. One boat was just taking off when it went off, and so one group was still there. So the boat turned around and went back and was helping them. Dude, the ash was going around and just melting their skin off of them. Dude, they were on that was part of their cruise to go on a fucking active volcano, and they fucking died. How much fucking bullshit is that, dude?
Taking off. Let's say a prayer for these people that
these dumbasses.
You're gonna get an extra hour.
Look, there it is. The White Island. That's it right there. Those fucking people went on a cruise and then got all burned up, man.
You know, when we went to Sicily, there's Mount. I already forgot I said. You know, Mount Vesuvius. Vesuvius.
That's the one that destroyed Rome.
Yeah. Well, Pompeii.
Yes.
So. Dude, the whole time we're out there, that's all I'm just staring at the volcano, just going, you know, because they go, it could go off at any time. And I went to Pompeii.
It's like a bad marriage, right?
Yeah, it's like it could go off.
So you go off at any time, bro. Yeah. They're like, fuck.
Let's see what happens.
Don't say anything about what she's wearing. She could go off at any time.
Once again, hello, ladies.
Hey, shout out to all
shout out to all the married people out there.
Yeah, the happily married people. But dude, so you went and checked out all the ruins. Dude,
I would go. Yeah, I would go to everything. It's just because I just kind of when I was out, I go, how many more times am I going to be able to do this? You know.
Have you ever been to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, dude, that was
for the cruises or just went?
Oh, cruises. But I went out there about 4 or 5 times.
I'm going on vacation to Puerto Rico.
Where are you going to go? Are you San Juan?
I don't know. No, a friend of ours.
Well, San Juan, that's a big touristy area. That's a lot.
I forgot. I just saw it yesterday where we're going, but a friend of ours knows someone that owns a small resort on the beach.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. And we're going to go. And
you can fly Southwest now over there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we're going to do that coming up. We're going to plan that. And this small resort sleeps like 20 people. So we're going to get a group of friends, and we're all just gonna go down there, and it's only like $5,500 for the whole group.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So because their whole resort, they just want $55 for the week.
Wow.
And so we get.
I thought you just say just $5,500.
Huh? It's gonna be split down because if we get 10 people, say 10 people go, we're gonna be paying $500 less each plus the flight and all that. Really that's cheap for a week vacation.
The beaches are beautiful over there.
Yeah, dude. They sent a video. It's right on the beach. There's a pool. They have a pool, hot tub, the deck, all this stuff, and barbecue area, and then the beach is right there. Boom. Wow. So that should be pretty interesting. I've never been to Puerto Rico, and you don't need a passport because I don't have one. That's what I'm.
Yeah, you don't. You don't.
Yeah, it's U.S. territory. And if you take paper towel rolls, I heard that they love when you pass paper towel rolls.
Yeah. Hey, well, this is even cooler. You have you can use your phone. They went out there.
They went from this right here
to that one and
to this.
Wow.
But do you think they got their money back from the tour? Look at that shit, dude. That was just the ash and shit.
Crazy.
They.
What do you think they put on Yelp?
Yeah, the review is like, wow.
Dude, never again.
No shit, dude. That's fucking crazy, dude. I mean, I guess it'd be pretty cool to say, I'm going to go, but I would think that they would just circle the fucking volcano and take pictures from the water.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
then walk in there, and there's no one out there, like, regulating, like, hey, man, it's at this levels today,
Yeah, so when you're out there, you could use your cell phone.
In Puerto Rico?
Yeah. So you can,
as far as before?
Well, for instance, because if you have like AT&T or Verizon and stuff.
Oh,
you'll be able to use it.
Oh, it still works.
When you go, you have no service when you go to certain places. They're in St. Thomas also.
Crooks, St. Thomas Crooks.
St. Thomas.
Crooks. I've never been out there. I can't get a passport, man. I got out of prison owing fucking $68,000 in back pay child support. That's like the same price as a badass Corvette. Like the top of the line one, 68 grand. I imagine it's like a red one, like with a convertible.
So what about like voting and stuff?
I can vote.
Okay.
Yeah, I can vote. As soon as you get off parole, your voting privileges are reinstated. In Texas, that is. Some states are different, but in Texas, as soon as you're off parole, you can go vote. You can pick a piece of shit every 4 years. Remember that they don't give a fuck.
As a felon?
Yeah.
Oh,
I vote. I vote. You just can't own a gun. But I mean, what's this new thing that they're talking about that you don't need in Texas, you don't need a concealed handgun license. You could just carry one, I guess until you get caught with it and then they run your name. Because what if I have one on my hip? They don't know that I'm a convicted felon.
Right.
And unless they run my name, and they might not ever, I'm just saying, for instance, I'm not going to do, my little brother's a cop. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Get this,
My little brother's a cop, and we look alike. If I had an ID and there wasn't really someone paying that much, and we're only a couple of years apart in age, and I just happened to have one of his IDs and say, no, that's me. And they'd be like, oh. But then they'd be like, you're a police officer. I'd be like,
so when y'all were young, did you used to have your ID to go to the clubs and stuff?
Where?
When y'all were young, did he use your ID to go to the club? Or?
My little brother's never been to a club.
Really?
Unless he was working as a cop.
Okay. Not even when he was like 21, he never went out to a club.
He's never drank a beer. Really? He's never smoked a cigarette, never smoked a joint, never taken a shot. Complete straight edge, dude.
Dude, you made up for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I fucked it all up. Yeah, he joined the Marines at 17 years old.
Wow.
And he was in ROTC before that.
I used to know a guy like that. I remember when I was going to school. And it was funny because back in the day, when I was 16, the IDs were so bad. You can laminate, you put your picture and just seal it back up.
Cover it back up. Yeah, my dad still has all of his old driver's licenses.
Dude, it was so funny. It's like you look and you're like, what?
Because if it got washed once, it was falling apart.
Yeah,
it would start to split on you. So the ends would split.
So wasn't laminated or anything?
They were cheap plastic.
It was just like a stickum almost, like it was holding it down. And it was funny because we used to go to this place. There's a place over off Bandera and Culebra, where HEB's at right now, and it was called Mr. Pizza's. So Mr. Pizza, like back then, and it was the guy that owned it was also a DJ for Kiss Radio. His name was Joe Anthony.
The Godfather.
So, the Godfather, yeah. So, dude, that place was, and it was funny because even though it was like a rock place, I mean, he was a rock. They used to play like a lot of disco because disco was really popular, and that place was packed. Dude, I was 16. I was buying beer. I looked like a little kid. And I'm driving.
I can't picture you ever looking like a little kid. I picture you looking like this your whole life, Danny.
Dude, it was funny because if you see, like, people see, I'm trying to think of when I went from this, when I started changing. I look like
I was changing when I morphed.
No, dude, it seems like because people see from
when I went through my second puberty.
Holy man, it was because when I left high school, I graduated. I was like
500,
120 pounds.
That's like me right now.
Yeah, exactly. I was like your size.
Damn.
Like maybe even smaller. And then
see, Edward, when you grow up.
One day I went to prison weighing 119 pounds.
Really?
I got out weighing 165. Just benching 320. Yeah, needed to jack off bad. I needed to get laid. Let me just put that. I needed to get laid. I was jacking off. I'm like, I didn't pull my dick off.
So 1999, we're waiting at the door.
Please, is it my turn yet? Is it my turn?
I want to get out of here.
I didn't get out till 2001.
Really?
Yeah, I came up for parole in May of 95. May of 96 was my first parole eligibility. Wow. I didn't get out till May of 2001. Dude. So this month right now is 20 years since I've been out.
Really? So here's so crazy. So back in school, back when we were in high school, I didn't really smoke or anything. It's just, but
weed. You mean a cigarette?
Weed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cigarettes. I didn't even smoke cigarettes.
I never smoked cigarettes.
A buddy of mine, and his name was funny because his name was Paul. So this guy, you see him, and he's just like a nerdy, average-looking guy, and he just started smoking, and then all of a sudden he got smoking. He was like, okay, well, if I sell this for this guy, I can get some extra, and so. Me, him, and this other friend of mine, Danny Ingle, we went on he goes, come on, man, I got to go drop some stuff off. I said, okay. So I wasn't even, dude.
No, I got to go drop some stuff off.
Exactly, that's all he said. He had an HEB brown bag. That's what HEB just had, the paper bags. They didn't have plastic. So he just had it rolled up. So we're driving down Highway 90 over by the trestles, like if you're heading towards, oh God, what was that area?
Any part of Highway 90 is kind of fucking
outside of 1604. Like
iffy.
Back then, that was like way.
Yeah, you're out of town.
You're out of town back then, and because we were gonna go to the Chinese graveyard, and we were gonna go. So all of a sudden, we see this Bexar County sheriff turns around and starts chasing.
The worst feeling ever.
And I'm like, I'm just like, what? And Paul's like sweating, and he's just like, dude, he just flies. He just floors it. So I'm just like, what the hell? And so we're sitting there. And he pulls into the side of I don't know where it was. He goes, dude, grab that bag, just chunk it. I said, what? He goes, throw it. And so I rolled down the window and I threw it. And so the cop just goes, the sheriff just goes right past us. And that was it. So we're there and he was like, and I was like, what? I go, And he goes, man, let's go look for that bag. I said, okay. So dude, we're walking for like 15 minutes all around.
It's in the middle of the night.
It's at night. The bag landed right by the door. That's like right by the door
of the car.
Of the car. Like I was, and then he opens up. He goes, "Oh man, all 15, count them.
15 pounds of weed.
15 lids of weed, but back
15
then,
ounces.
Yeah, well, yeah, but back then, dude, back
lid,
then,
yeah.
Back then in the early, I mean, in like 77. That's when it happened, like 77, 78. Lids were like this big, like they were like huge.
Yeah, it was all seedy and stemmy.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I know what you're talking about.
Man, it was like
that Cheech and Chong weed.
Exactly. So after that, I was like, I can't do. That's it. I never talked to that guy again,
bro.
Like after that, I was like, dude, you could have ruined my life.
That whole what's like, we got to make a stop shit with when you people. I had a buddy one time. I'm getting in the car. He throws me an HEB bag, but the new ones, the plastic white ones, he throws it to me. What's this? About $85,000.
Wow.
He goes, I got to make a stop real quick. Before we go wherever we were going, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, it's about 85,000." And then, and I was like, "What are we doing?" I just got to go drop something off, And I was just like, "Dude," and pick something up, and he picks up like two keys.
Now, how old were you? This happened. This was last week.
This was like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And I'm like, bro, and dude, and he goes one time. We get in the car and he goes, hold on. And he always had all these different nice cars. He gets his truck. We're in his truck and he goes and he gets these 2 big trash bags, but they looked real light. And he throws them in the back of his truck. And I'm like, why are you bringing trash with us? And he goes, well, I got to get rid of these. I don't want to throw them in my own trash cans. And I'm like, what is that? What? And he was like, we just got to go throw them in some dumpsters around town. We don't got to do nothing. I'm not touching. He goes, well, I got to go throw them over here. So he goes, and I was like, he goes to a dumpster and he throws out these bags. I'm like, what's that? He goes, it's the casings for the kilos of Coke. He goes, did you know if you get caught with just the plastic casing? Because they cut them open, the plastic, and pop the key out of it. And then they got this empty thing shaped like a kilo. He goes, did you know if you get caught with just that, they'll charge you just like you got a kilo because they know what was in here?
Really?
I was like, what the fuck are you bringing these in the fucking car with me for, dude? I don't want to be in the car with this bullshit. How many are in there? I don't know, about 50.
So do you put them in the bio bag container?
Dude, one, he goes and disposes them properly. The city has a fucking little collection box. But yeah, dude, I was like, bro, dude, I've walked into fucking houses like we're going to go out and walked into a pad and they've had 2 keys on the fucking table that they're breaking up and they're wearing masks and they're doing it. And I walked in and like, oh shit, you could just smell that shit. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'll be outside waiting in the car, bro. That life is so far behind me.
Oh yeah.
I don't even want to be. And
I've
you know
never
those
been
dudes,
there. Don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those dudes, they act like it's just nothing, dude. And it's just a way
of their life. I mean, it's just they don't no other thing to do but that.
Yeah, kind of. And it's crazy how casual they are about it. Like my buddy, he's going to prison right now. He got caught with 5 keys. He got caught with 5, and he's been down. He did 10 on a 10 before once for aggravated possession and aggravated kidnapping. So he's not looking at a little bit of time. I mean, he'll be lucky if he gets 10.
How old is he?
47, 48. Yeah, and it's federal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, like, and he's such a risk taker, and he's not a bad dude. Like he didn't no. I mean, besides the drug dealing thing, but I'm saying, as far as like when we went out, it wasn't like he's fucking beefing with these other drug dealers. He wasn't that kind of drug dealer. You'd go out and he's buying everyone at the bar shots. I've been at a bar with him where he bought the whole bar a shot. I'm talking 100-something people in the bar. I've been out, like he does that all the time. We go to meet the editor in Fiesta, and anyone that's around is getting a shot. Hey man, you want to do a shot? Hey, you want to do it? He just meets people and how you doing?
The cops are over looking at him.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Get his info.
If I was an undercover, I would just sit at the titty bar and watch these dudes come in and be ballers, and then later on get the chick to come over and say, "Hey, who is that?" I'll make sure when the shit hits the fan, you don't get in trouble. But who is that? I need to know. And those chicks are gonna talk.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna give you everything. They're gonna start singing like Adele, bro.
Yep. Got 100 right here just for some info.
Yeah, dude, and that's all you have to do is you don't even if they didn't give you any info, you don't need to be a rocket doctor to fucking see these motherfuckers what they're doing. Yeah, you don't. So and
those are the smartest ones too,
dude. But my boy was such a risk. Like there would be a fucking 10 cop cars at the spot where he across the street from the spot where he's supposed to do the deal, and he would just be like, "Wow, I wonder what's going down there."
This guy would be awesome as far as like having him buy like tables.
Oh, he would.
At the comedy club.
He would.
So you could bring people in.
He would.
And yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
He would. I would have shows, and he would just go buy 20 tickets.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't even make it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even make it. He'd be like, "I bought 20 tickets, oh bro." So, like badass. He was my boy, and he was he would do shit like that.
So you see cops at the comedy club.
Yeah, they're all just
that guy over there.
watch him and him.
The guy on stage.